Robbery, 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 robbery. That is the common word coming out of the Lomachenko, the former unified champion, versus the current undisputed champion, Devin the Dream Haney. Kudos to Devin for pulling the victory, but it was a fight full of controversy. It was a very entertaining fight, but once again, the judges took the shine out of the fight. They did not let Devin the Dream Haney or the fight get its due credit. The scorecards were quite abysmal, especially that of Devin Moratti. I'll get into all that in this particular video, but please let's get it engaging. Let me know what you think about this particular fight. So express your views in the comment section. Comment whatever your views are on this particular fight, and also press the like button if you're really enjoying this particular video. And first of all, subscribe to the channel. Most of you are not subscribing to the channel, so please do me a favor by subscribing to the channel. Thank you. Now let me declare my stand. In this particular video which I shot for the preview, I thought Lomachenko was going to win the fight, and that was my prediction. I thought it was a Lomachenko victory. Did I think Lomachenko won this particular fight? Yes, I do think Lomachenko won this particular fight. So that would lead to the next question. Was it a robbery? I don't think it was a robbery. The fight was close. So most rounds were close rounds, but rounds in which Vasly Lomachenko won, he won it clearly. But most of the rounds that you can see on the judges scorecard, they gave to Devin Haney were quite close rounds, and they gave every close round to Devin Haney. That means the judges were watching this particular fight with a biased eyes or point of view, but you can't say it was a total robbery because there is no one straight jacket formula in judging a boxing match. That is why I have done a video about bringing in the assistant video judging, and that too that would also pop up here. You can go back and watch that video when I suggested about us introducing the assistant video judging system. So this is what I think. I think that the fight was not a robbery, but the judges were biased to only look at the fight in one perspective without acknowledging the attributes of Vasly Lomachenko. Now this brings me to my second question, and that is, has Devin's skill in boxing been affirmed, and has his lack of power also been affirmed? Yes, both of them have been affirmed. Devin the Dream Haney's skill has not been in contention by anyone. He has over the years shown massive boxing skill and displayed boxing IQ, and his lack of power. So with Lomachenko added to the number, that means Devin Haney has not knocked out any of his last 7 opponents. Devin the Dream Haney has not knocked out any of his last 7 opponents, and Vasily Lomachenko did not respect Devin the Dream Haney's power. Though he was the smaller man, he did not respect Devin the Dream Haney's power, and he was always trying to come inside the pocket, and he did his best. But Devin the Dream Haney affirmed that he is a man full of skill, but does not have enough power to keep a serious boxer at bay, and that may end up being a problem from Devin Haney when he's moving up. And that brings me to my next take on Devin Haney. Should Devin Haney move up? I think it's time Devin Haney moves up, because he always looks drained in the weigh-in, and even with this particular weigh-in that we also, it was a ceremonial weigh-in because they had already weighed in the morning. If it had been with somebody like Tank Davis and you are weighing late afternoon or afternoon, that would end up having a toll on Devin the Dream Haney's physicality before the fight. So as time Devin the Dream Haney moves up, he looks drained, and that also takes a lot of power away from him. Maybe if he moves up and he doesn't drain himself so much, he would have some pop behind his right hand. So this brings me to the fourth question. What type of boxer is Lomachenko? Lomachenko is a true legend of the game. Lomachenko is one hell of a boxer, like Floyd Mayweather would say. He is one hell of a champion, and he displayed that against a top lion, a man who he is 11 years older than. He displayed that set of skill, the man who is regarded or holds all the marbles in the division. He displayed such skill against that man, dominating him, landing the most significant punches in that particular fight. I think Lomachenko is one hell of a boxer, and I doff my heart out to Lomachenko. Now, this particular fight will lead or will let us talk about judging in this modern era. Like I've said, I've spoken about the assistant judging system that we should introduce, but sometimes judges must be made to defend their scorecards in public. They must, after a judge officiates a fight, then his report must be made public on the commission's website. His report on why he scored the fight this particular way, this particular round, must be made public, so that when going into a fight and you are given a judge, you know the type of scorecards to expect, how the judges thinks about this fight, so that there may be racial comments or racial tones in there. Oh, this judge will say, I like the boxing of this fighter who may be Caucasian, so I scored the fight for him. But in his next fight, in which someone of a Latino origin fought the same style against the previous, in which he said this is why he scored this particular round to this person, and because the Latino may be coming up against a Caucasian and displaying that same set of skill, he is not giving it to the Latino this time, but still giving that particular round to the Caucasian. So judges must be made to defend their judging, and that judging must be made public so that the public can judge for this themselves the kind of level or the kind of person that particular person is. And with the victory over Lomachenko, the person who has been called in question is Tank Davis. How would Devin Haney fare against Tank Davis? I think Gervonta Tank Davis stops Devin Haney in less than 5 rounds. Because if Lomachenko was able to land those significant clear shots on Devin Haney, Lomachenko does not have 60% pop as 60% pop of Devin Haney's power. I think Gervonta Tank Davis's power. I think Gervonta Tank Davis stops Devin the Dream Haney in less than 5 rounds. Because if that left hand lands 2 or 3 times, Devin Haney is surely going down. Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the most devastating punches in boxing today. Did the system win this particular fight for Devin Haney? It is looking like the system won this particular fight for Devin Haney. Bob Arum wants to re-sign Devin the Dream Haney. So this fight may be a way of doing Devin Haney a favor or showing him that we are behind him. He being the younger of the two, he has a longer time in this boxing business for Top Rank to make money out of him than Lomachenko. So the Top Rank promotion itself may be going or may be supporting Devin Haney. Just like Devin Haney said, he likes the way Top Rank are promoting him. He likes the way Top Rank are promoting him. And this brings me to my next question. What do I think of how Lomachenko acted after the results were announced? a true professional, Lomachenko exhibited true professionalism at its best. He stayed in the ring, answered questions, and did not go after the judges or the commission, but he answered questions. He disagreed with the results. He thought he won the fight. We are here again, and all those things. You could see that he was hurt, but he maintained his composure, and that is the kind of person Lomachenko is. Alexander Usyk also has the same character, but in a funny manner. They always maintain their composure. They are level-headed people, mentally tough up there. So what is next for both Lomachenko and Devin Haney? I think Devin Haney is time to move up. I've already said that he should go face one of the champions in the 140 division. He may even start, maybe Richard Comey has also moved to 140, so he may start by fighting Richard Comey, who did not look good against Ramirez in his last fight. So going to the division, he fights Richard Comey, then he tried to take up the likes of Josh Taylor, if Josh Taylor will still remain in the division after the Teofimo Lopez fight, or Josh Taylor would definitely move up, or he faces Prograis. That is, Prograis is a champion now, so he can move back to Matchroom, so that they make their Prograis fight, because Prograis is now signed to Matchroom. So Devin the Dream Haney has option going back to Matchroom. But Eddie Hearn recently said that Shakur Stevenson is a better fighter than Devin Haney. I agree with that 100%. But would that encourage Devin the Dream Haney's signing back with Matchroom? I don't know. So he should take a warm-up fight in the light junior weight division, then he moves up and fights one of the champions. We have the likes of Teofimo there, Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. That would be a very exciting fight. Devin Haney versus Prograis. That would be a very, very exciting fight. Prograis is always a dog in the ring, and how would he attack Devin Haney, and can Devin Haney box Prograis all 12 rounds? It's going to be Josh Taylor. Who else is in the division? Ryan Garcia is moving up there. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia is also a big matchup, and so Devin Haney must move up, and he has a lot of options and big fights in the junior welterweight division. I think Lomachenko, he can still become a world champion, because I know Devin Haney will surely move up, and when he moves up, the belt will move around, and Lomachenko can grab one and maybe try unify, but becoming undisputed again, that would be a very tall order for Vasily Lomachenko, because if Vasily Lomachenko gets one of the belts, Shakur Stevenson gets one of the belts, then that means we are looking for another, we are looking at another unification fight for Vasily Lomachenko against another young lion. And this time around, Southpaw versus Southpaw, skill for skill, I think they are both up there as skillful boxers, but this time he is not fighting a way bigger man. So that is the difference between if Lomachenko gets a belt after Devin Haney has moved up, and Shakur Stevenson gets a belt and they are unifying. Lomachenko may be older, maybe 36 years as at that time, but he would not be facing a way bigger man like his previous two young men who had beaten him, that is Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. He will be fighting someone he is quite equal to. Do I want to see a rematch at this particular fight? Hell no. I don't want to see a rematch. I think Lomachenko won the fight. Devin Haney won it on paper. My perspective about how the fight would go had been affirmed. I don't like the way Devin the Dream Haney is draining himself just to be in the lightweight division. I think it's time for him to move up. I'm not ready to see a rematch. I don't think Lomachenko should chase the rematch and move to the junior welterweight division. I think all is said and done. Lomachenko had the moral victory whilst Devin Haney won it on paper. I don't want to see a rematch, though I wouldn't miss it, but I think both men can do other things based on this performance Lomachenko gave. I don't think he is out of this particular group, so Loma can come back again and Devin can move up and win a world title, but that would be a very challenging one for Devin. Let's see what happens, and let's see how the appeal by Lomachenko's manager goes in Iglis. So thank you for watching. Remember, there is no limit to greatness, but boxing must always give us the right results.